Today, we're jumping into the mind of one of history's most incredible figures, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. We're going to see how he built an untouchable fortress right inside his own mind. And this quote right here, it gets right to the heart of his whole philosophy. The idea that it's our internal world, what's going on inside our heads, that truly decides our happiness, not all the crazy stuff happening around us. So let's get into it. This is the story of a man who was, at the same time, the most powerful person on the planet and also just a humble student of philosophy, trying to figure things out. Now, you might think being emperor is all grapes and luxury, right? Well, not for Marcus. His entire reign was just one crisis after another. We're talking constant war, a plague that wiped out millions, famine, and even betrayal by his #1 general. It just never stopped. So the big question is, how did he handle all that without completely falling apart? He built what the Stoics call an inner citadel. And in this explainer, we're going to see exactly how he built it, piece by piece, throughout his life. So where do we begin? Not with the emperor and his purple robes, but with a boy, learning the very first, and maybe the most important lesson, how to control what you want. This is what the Stoics call the discipline of desire. In his own private journal, what we now call his meditations, Marcus actually thanks his teachers and family for these lessons. He learned to want resilience, not luxury, simplicity, not power. He was basically training himself to desire things that no one could ever take away from him. And this gets to a really core Stoic idea. They saw the world as two parts. There's the stuff you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your character, and then there's, well, everything else. And a Stoic learns to pour all their energy into that first column and to let the second one go. So what's the lesson for us? It's huge. We think freedom is about getting everything we want, but the Stoics say no, real freedom is about wanting what you already have. It's about mastering your own mind. That is the solid foundation of the Inner Citadel. Okay, so he's got the foundation. Now let's watch how it holds up under pressure. We jump forward in time, and Marcus is now the emperor, and his world is literally falling apart. I mean, you can't overstate how bad things were. The Roman Empire was basically broke. The treasury was empty thanks to years of war, disease, and disasters. They couldn't even pay the army. So you're the most powerful man in the world, and you're out of cash. What do? Squeeze the people for more taxes? Just invent new money? Nope. He did something absolutely incredible. He held a massive public auction right in the Roman Forum and sold off his own stuff. We're talking imperial jewels, golden plates, fancy silk robes, even his wife's royal clothes. It not only funded the state for 2 years, but it sent this powerful message to the people. I'm with you. We're in this together. This was a perfect example of the second Stoic principle in action, the discipline of action. Look, he couldn't control the wars. He couldn't stop the plague. But he could control how he responded. And he chose to do what was right, what was for the common good. So the takeaway here is that when everything around you feels chaotic and out of control, you find your anchor. You find it by focusing on doing the right thing. That's how you build the walls of your citadel. All right, let's move to the final scene and the final, most powerful discipline. Now we find Marcus as an old man. He's not in Rome. He's in a cold, miserable tent on the front lines of a war. And it's here that he perfects the final defense of his mind. You know, whenever we face something tough, a setback, a betrayal, just plain bad luck, our brain immediately asks this question. We rush to slap a label on it. But the Stoic answer is kind of mind-blowing. They say the event itself isn't actually good or bad. It's neutral. It just is. The suffering, that comes from the story we tell ourselves about the event. And Marcus actually wrote down the mental exercise for this. It's pretty simple. Step 1, just state the facts. My child is sick. Step 2, stop there. Don't add the extra layer of drama like, and this is a terrible tragedy. And step 3, stick to that first objective impression. That is the discipline of assent. And this is really the key to being resilient. It's not about being tough and just gritting your teeth through bad things. It's about training your mind to stop seeing them as bad in the first place. When you can do that, your inner fortress is basically unbreakable. So let's pull it all together. Through these three scenes of his life, the boy, the emperor, the old man, Marcus Aurelius has given us a timeless blueprint for building our own mental fortress to handle pretty much anything life throws at us.
Here it is, your blueprint. It's 3 steps. First, you build the foundation by getting your desires in check. Then, you build the walls with virtuous action. And finally, you guard the gates with objective judgment.
And that's our explainer. We'll leave you with this final idea from Marcus himself. He believed that the challenges you face, they aren't there to stop you. They're the raw material. They are the very stone you can use to build your strength. The only real question left is, what will you build?